There are so many people who are way dumber than you, way less skilled than you, even potentially way lazier than you in the actual skill set that you have, but they're seeing so-called success because they're able to leverage some other skill sets and use them to their advantage. So something that's been really toying with me lately is this whole concept of trying to start something and wanting to be the best at the thing before you even start the thing. What I mean by that is within the scope of content creation, there's a lot of people who want to start, but they aren't because they are not the best at what they do. They feel like you have to be an expert before you can start sharing your opinion. In the world of corporate America, going to school, we have all these barriers to entry for everything. And it's just like if you don't surpass all these barriers, then you don't have a seat at the table. I don't think that's something that's going to last much longer because society has been changing so much. Think about it. Who are the most impactful people that you know? And why are they impactful? Is it because they're the best? Is it because they have the most skill? Or is it because of something else? My mind goes to the music industry to begin with. So one of the most popular R&B female artists of the 1990s was Aaliyah. Even Beyonce herself said she was one of the hottest artists out there.
What's up? What's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing, girl?
It's so good to see you.
She's just looking fabulous. What are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing Gucci.
And when I think about Aaliyah, we both have Arabic names, by the way, which are pretty commonly mispronounced.
Aliyah,
Oh, jeez.
like Muhammad Ali.
So I've been saying it wrong for a week because they told me.
I'm here to tell you.
Thank you.
Muhammad Ali.
Thank you.
Aliyah.
Alia.
She had a quality where, she was a singer, yes. Beyonce was also a singer at that time, but there was something different about Aaliyah that gave her a unique edge, like a unique territory in the music industry that was just hers. She was a singer, but she wasn't the best singer. I am a fan of the persona that she created from the perspective of it being unique. She crafted her own lane at a time where there were a lot of powerhouse vocalists, belting and screaming all these loud high notes. She took a more calm and cool approach, being like the opposite, the antithesis, right? So she was more calm, cool, and collected. Her voice was like silk. It kind of was just smooth over the beats, and people began to gravitate toward her. Her image, she had a tomboy image, not a girly girl image. She had that mature aesthetic going for her. And, people who related to that, they gravitated toward her. Whereas, people who are very technically sound like Beyonce, she captured a large part of the market, but it's not like everyone in the world like preferred Beyonce, even though one would say that she was like a more technically sound artist. Because when it comes down to it with singers, that's what they are. They're artists. It's not just about having the most technically sound voice and you're just going to use that voice to make it far. Because we've seen in the music industry, like the most successful musicians are ones that have a certain look, a certain persona, a certain image, a certain brand, all these things encapsulated. And it's not like skill is going to get you to the top. It just doesn't. And that's true for pretty much any industry, you can argue. It's not skill, it's not merit. You have to have something else that makes you stand out. To me, I think it's really important that we understand how each of us brings something fresh and unique and different to the table because we all have our inherent qualities that nobody else can duplicate. Or thinking about other artists, like, yes, we have Beyonce, great singer, okay dancer, and then we have someone like Ciara, who is a great dancer, but okay singer. Growing up, anytime there was a music video by Ciara, I would make sure that I watched it. And I watched for the choreography, the dancing, to see how is she going to move her body next? How is she going to hit the beat? Because she's an athlete, she's a dancer. That's what she does. She is very gifted in that area. Not so much in the singing, but you know what? That doesn't matter. If I was looking for something that was high energy, that really showed me something cool that the human body could do, I was not going to go to Beyonce for that. I was going to go to Ciara. Let's look at some other industries now. In the running space, running is one of those sports where you have a personal best that shows how fast you are. So it's very cut and dry. You either run a certain time that's faster than someone else or you haven't. In the sport of track and field, there's this runner named Matthew Bowling, and he has been very popular in multiple events. He was popular in high school. Then he went into college, saw a lot of success there in different events. But then over time, he kind of began to plateau a bit in terms of his performances. But what did he have behind him? His unique image, things that he brought to the table that other people didn't. He was the fast white runner in a sport full of black sprinters. He could perform well in the track events. He could perform well in the field events. Whereas if you just took any other random sprinter who happened to be fast, they don't necessarily have the same following as him. They don't have the same reputation as him because he has done things that are beyond the sport itself, just bringing some type of new energy. And some of this was beyond his control. Like obviously his skin color is beyond his control, but he'll post things on social media, silly things, kind of fun things, whereas other people who are competing against him might not post as much, or they might post kind of boring things. Boring from the perspective of they're just about their races or their training with a very direct and to the point messaging. When it comes to the overall reach, some of them might be faster than him and have better marks. It might be better in the sprinting events. They might be better in the jumping events, but they don't have as much of an impact on the sport because their overall image and their overall persona, it pales in comparison to his. We also think about other areas. Let's take dancing. We have those dancers on TikTok who blew up during the pandemic. Some of them are very highly trained. Some of them are not so highly trained. If we think about all the dancers from TikTok and think about all the trained dancers that go to very prestigious programs for years and years, but they have no way of having their skills and expertise in dance shown on such a large scale, then they won't be able to compete with people who might be slightly less skilled, but have such a strong impact because of their dance being out there. And then their dances are out there. They can share more of their personality. These people understand that they have the chance to get messages out there, and they did that. And then after that, they decided that they would capitalize on it in whatever way that is. They weren't necessarily the most highly skilled. If you had judges judging them, they might not have the sharpest movements, but they have the impact, which other people simply cannot compete with. We look at the trading space as well. We have so many great traders who are not able to display proof of their trading results, but yet they have such a large following because of their image. People trust them. People view them as credible just because of how they've decided to craft their narrative, whether it's because of the education they teach. A lot of people in the online trading space, they'll show charts. They'll show, some of the technical analysis they've done over the years. They might decide to show lifestyle too, showing their cars, different properties they own, all these things that build credibility in the eyes of the audience. There are certainly a lot of real traders who are successful and very skilled in terms of the actual skill of trading, but they will not have the same impact on the wider scale because they don't have any type of image or persona out there. So then where does that audience go? It goes to maybe the second tier traders who are good at essentially marketing themselves. And they're the ones that see success from other skill sets that are not directly related to their actual trading ability. But that's just how the world works. So I say all of that to say, if you think that you need to be an expert before you start to create or, before you start to put yourself out there, you're playing a losing game because there are so many people who are way dumber than you, way less skilled than you, even potentially way lazier than you in the actual skill set that you have, but they're seeing so-called success because they're able to leverage some other skill sets and use them to their advantage. So while you're here wondering whether you're even eligible to potentially speak up and share your opinion about something, they are taking liberty. They're saying, I'm here, I'm ready to share. Everyone else is going to listen to me. They don't have a choice because I'm going to make myself loud and proud and I'm going to put myself out there. So if you want to compete with them, you're going to have to do that too. There's not really much time for overthinking because every day the people that you could potentially impact, they're listening to someone else.